Hello everyone, and welcome back to Northern Lights. We just had a fun time at the archives, or library, at the library. That's how that word is said. Yes. We met an elk chan. I don't know. I guess we'll formally more meet them later. Today they had a weird first impression. Anyway. Then a deep, mumbling voice spoke up, but I couldn't make out the words. Everything was pounding. My eyes were hard shut, trying not to see the world spinning, and I struggled to breathe.
Oh, you okay, Pop?
Oh, Vince is here. We love this guy. He's a good one. Vincent's words becoming just slightly more understandable, I opened my eyes to see the golden wolf coming into focus, and just a look of deep concern on his face. Yet I couldn't speak. My whole body was drowning in a torrent of anxiety. The wolf's ears perk. He took a seat next to me on the bench and gently rested an arm over my shoulders, gripping my right arm in a firm yet gentle fashion.
Easy, Cody, easy. It's going to be okay. Just listen to my voice. Okay? That's all I want you to focus on.
Vincent's voice was deep, a lighthouse looming over the overwhelming sea, a beacon to find my way back to reality, to sanity? Okay, to sanity, okay.
We're just sitting on a bench outside the library. You and I. Take a slow, deep breath in. Nice and easy.
I did as he asked me to, hanging on to his words like a lifeline, letting the warm morning air fill every inch of me.
Good. Hold it. Only for a moment. And exhale gently.
Slowly letting the air come out of my lungs, the pounding in my head began to fade.
Breathe in and out.
The calm, collected voice of the wolf guided me out of the chaos, and little by little, the world felt right to me. I could think clearly, at least, glancing over at Vincent with a nervous smile, the wolf moving his arms away.
Feel better, Pup.
Yeah, What was that?
Looks to me like you had a panic attack. Not your fault, though. Could happen to the best of us. Would you like to talk about it?
I just crashed into someone on my way out. Reckon he was angry, but the way he spoke to me. I didn't catch his name, though. I chose not to mention the coin terrifying me, or the rather hateful words of the elk that seemed to have no tolerance for an otter interrupting his morning.
Try not to think about it too much. You've got a whole quagmire of things going on right now. New life, new job, college. It's alright to get a little frazzled now and then.
Giving a nod, I glanced back at the wolf, who was still smiling calmly. Sitting next to him was really making me feel safe and in the moment.
Are you going to be alright now?
Yes, yeah. I think so. Thank you, Vinny.
Think nothing of it, Pup. Pup. I'll see you tomorrow.
The wolf stood and offered a paw, helping me to my feet. A firm pat on my back served as a final reassurance before making his way into the library. The draining sensation of the panic attack was over, and I figured it was best to let it drag my morning down. Best not to let it drag my morning down. Whoops. I pulled out the town map from my bag, finding my way to the nearest bus stop. Climbing aboard once it arrived, setting off to see the campus for the first time, and to find out what surprises Aldrich had in store for me. Oh, well, that's a cute little background. Now this really looks like Life is Strange true colors, doesn't it? As the bus rolled down the main street, or running along the quaint campus, a sense of trepidation kept swelling within me. I couldn't help eyeing the leagues of cars, the parents and students unpacking, saying their farewells. It wasn't the frantic energy that left me uneasy. The sight of all the love being so freely spread left me feeling hollow. Wonder what it's like, having family actually here to see you off. That new job, reconnecting with Aldrich, it was a nice start to a new life, yet I could feel that everlasting itch in my head, the one that never failed to return to me to the greatest constant of my life, wondering if my paw was right. As I stepped off the bus, my eyes got fixed on the blue station wagon, quite like the one my father owned, ears twitching as I imagined myself stepping out of the car. My ma, already in tears before we'd even reached the campus, a look of pride on my pa's face that let me know this was my own achievement that I made. Oh, okay. Sorry, there was a noise. I got spooked, or rather curious, I guess. Hmm. I think a bug like bopped against the window and flew off. It was very weird. It was very weird. I almost smiled at the thought of having a Rockwellian family with a father who was that the right word? Rockwellian? What does that even mean? Mm. With a father who supports my dreams and a mother alongside a caring husband. When the bus rolled away with a squeak of aged brakes, I was shaken out of the fantasy. Thus far, with every step I took in my new life, it still felt like I was tugging a ball and chain, a longing for my past and be different, which kept me from focusing too long on all of the good that had happened so far. With a heavy sigh and even heavier steps, I started making my way through the campus, following signs for the registration area, trying to fight against the feeling and hold on to my blessings. The campus wasn't particularly large, a three-story dormitory, two smaller study halls, with everything else contained in the largest and central building, looking straight out of a the turn of the century. Almost sounds like one of the community college I went to, but hey, except smaller, of course. The main building was smaller than this. It was cute though. Small though, it looked like it would fit right in with the Ivy Leagues. There was a clear lack of upkeep, and it was even clearer than this. What, clearer? That its distance from any place of note limited its appeal to the upperclassmen. To the other class, sorry. During my short walk through the quad, I spotted more students than I'd expected given the size of the university. Most of them looked like they were in a similar situation to me. Hand-me-down clothes, beaten cars, a general lack of personal belongings for their future dorm rooms. No scholarships, so relying on loans and parents' money. This was truly the best they could afford, sorry. The registration area had taken over the cafeteria, now swarmed with droves of new students, patients, faculty, and returnees volunteering their time to help everyone find their way where they needed to get to. A banner on the wall on one end marked designated tables for arts and business degrees, and I worked my way through the crowd as fast as I could towards them. Excuse me, is this the back of the line? Against the overwhelming noise in the space, I had to speak up a little to get the attention of the tall Doberman in a tight-fitting jacket in front of me. He returned to face me with a sneer on his face.
I'm not a volunteer. Fuck off.
Oh, okay. His tone was harsh, and before I even had a chance to say anything else, he turned his back to me, pretending I didn't notice it exist, sorry. After 20 minutes, I was finally at the desk, and the lady helping find my information and schedule was far kinder than the Doberman who just left. Here we go. Associates of Arts. Planning to transfer? Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna see about getting into a film school once I'm done here. You want to make movies? How exciting. Please, call me Rebecca. She seemed genuinely passionate about my career choice. If it hadn't been for the line of waiting students behind me, she might have happily dove into a deep conversation with me. So, all of your general studies classes will be in this building, while your arts programs will take place in the right hall. If you head out that way, you'll find signs leading you to the bookstore, so you can get everything you need for the semester. Don't be fooled, Cody. You don't need anything. Was anyone else one of those students that would wait until the very last minute to buy their books? Wait until your professors for that semester sent out their syllabuses in the email and read if you actually need the book or not. Because I would wait. Sometimes I would wait until the first day of class, hear if the teacher was actually going to use the textbook, and then go to the bookstore after, right? Because let me tell you, at the school that I went to, everyone, like, at the first day of class, as soon as a teacher went, "You don't need your books," everyone would just return their books. Or if they, like, so it was just really convenient to actually wait, like, a little bit later, because there'd just be an influx of used books, like, the week after, like, classes started. Don't know if that's the way it was for anyone else, but that's the way it was for me. Thank you, Miss Rebecca, for helping make sense of everything around here. My pleasure, Cody. I hope you have a wonderful first year at the Aspen Hollow University. With my schedule and book list in paw, I headed out of the cafeteria and started making my way for the bookstore. No, don't do it! Outside there was rows of tables, staffed by returning students advertising their associated clubs, and encouraging freshmen to take a look and come join. Among all the largest signs and the several pamphlets offered up to me, there was no evidence of one for films, not even photography. Maybe I could start a film club around here. It never really was good at that sort of thing, though. Man, reckon Tobin would have smacked me upside the head for saying that. I forced myself to chuckle as I thought to ignore the repeatedly growing sensation of loneliness. No dysfunctional family to bring me here, not even my best friends alongside me as we ready ourselves for college life. Soon after dipping into the bookstore, I realized that getting my books was the easy part. The list even told me where to find them amongst the rows of shelves. It was the art supplies that would take up most of my time. Your school actually had an art supply section? Fucking lit. Mine didn't. They would always say, like, go to the next town over and buy supplies at the Michaels over there. And I'm like, what do you mean, like, the school doesn't supply supplies for a fucking degree that they have? Oh my god, that place sucked. Is what it was what it was, though. Until I got my first paycheck in a week, this would be the last of the money I saved up. I would need to choose wisely. Glancing at my semester schedule, I noted that none of my classes were about painting, a small mercy as paints were always the most expensive. I gather up a selection of charcoal, pastels and pencils, a large sketch pad, and a few more bits and bobs. I wouldn't be able to afford one yet, but I I at least had to take a look and see what easels they had on offer. Turning a corner, I stopped dead in my tracks at the sight of an all too familiar elk. Is it just me? Is it just me, or do the art supplies here keep shrinking every year? The Servine? Curvine? I don't know. Too lazy to look it up as well. You know how I am, was conversing with an elderly ram, whose wool was covered throughout its splotches of assorted paints. What'd you think would happen once they opened the mall over in Cedar Valley? Administration has always been complaining about the low profit on art supplies. Are you joking? Paws and Paints Emporium. Nothing but overpriced, substandard supplies. The only art they specialize in is conning. I dread to see what mediocrity my students will present with those sorry excuses for paints and brushes. At the mention of students, my eyes widened. He was an art professor. I could only hope that he would never be one of mine, or at least not for the first semester. Are they a rout? The last thing I wanted was to be on the professor's bad side from the get-go. Maybe he'd forget about me crashing into him. The same day? You're insane, Cody! And then maybe I could dismiss the hatred in his voice when he referred to my species. Hurriedly, I stepped back, deciding I'd rather not run into the elk again. Instead, I made for the counter to pay for everything. Leaving with my books and supplies in hand, I took a quick look at the core campus map and decided to make for the student parking lot. I figured that the best way to find Aldrich, as we had planned, would be to look for his truck. I managed to spot it not far from the quad, along with a rather rough-looking Doberman in a red jacket leaning against it, instantly recognizing him as the rather rude canine who'd kindly told me to fuck off. He do be kind of cute though. Like that's not just me, right? I don't know. I don't know. Walking over, I gave a nervous wave to the Doberman, assuming him to be one of Aldrich's friends. Maybe we'd just gotten on the wrong paw before. The Doberman glances at me, causing my heart to sink for the third time that day. Was I only ever gonna meet one nice person on this campus?
What?
The Doberman's voice was just as aggressive as before. Surely the canine would just about bite my head clean off if I stepped too close. I was looking for Aldrich. Have you seen him?
And why should I tell you? Don't recall him looking around for some random freshman.
The Doberman stood tall, looking like he was ready to pick a fight with me, and I took a nervous step back from him. Sorry, I'll look somewhere else.
That's a good idea. Get lost.
Just as I turned to leave, I heard Aldrich call out,
"Hey, Cody!"
And Aldrich hurried over, giving me a pat on the shoulder before setting his stuff down in the bed of the truck. Why does he have to be so cute, guys? Why is this lad gotta be so cute? Howdy, Aldrich.
Took you long enough. Let's go.
The shepherd bumped up hard against the Doberman, causing him to stagger a few steps sideways. Immediately, the anger on his face disappeared. He's pogging. Look, guys, he's got the pog face. Good. I think that's what that face is called, right? Immediately, the anger on his face disappeared. He looked rather like a nervous puppy now.
No. What was that for? Because you can drop the act, Kev. Not Kev, Dev. Cody's the friend I was telling you about last night. Oh, hey. Sorry, Cody. I'm Devin. It's nice to finally meet the legend.
Okay. The Doberman's entire posture shifted the moment he steadied his step. His shoulders relaxed, and he suddenly seemed overflowing with friendly energy. An actual inviting smile plastered on his face. The legend? And Devin wasn't given a chance to answer. Aldrich smiled at me, grabbing my things and setting them alongside his in the truck.
Don't mind him, Dev. He puts on a tough guy act for strangers. What? It's not an act!
The surprise and chuckle in his voice was another stark contrast to the angry hellhound he'd been before, now resembling an innocent pupper.
Right. Sure it is. So, how'd it go, Cody? Got everything squared away for the semester.
Yeah, everything went real smooth. What about you? I didn't feel like bringing up the encounter with the elk, wishing to make a good impression in front of Devin, and to avoid dumping all my problems on Aldrich again.
Not too bad. I got distracted catching up with some old high school rivals, who are starting here. Hey, Cody, Aldrich asked me to make lunch for the three of us. You hungry?
Reckon I could eat.
That's the spirit.
Devin fumbled around inside the truck and pulled out three rectangular woven bamboo baskets. Okay.
So, you're his pen pal, right?
Yeah, totally forgot this was where I was sending all the letters to.
Why did you stop?
What do you mean? Aldrich's ears perked at the question, lowering his lunchbox for a moment.
Yeah, I was meaning to ask you about that.
I stopped because you stopped. The shepherd flicked an ear, looking away from me as he pulled open one of the lunch boxes, hurriedly stuffing his maw with a slice of pickled radish. Devin huffed, looking a little perturbed with me. Maybe the tough guy act wasn't completely an act.
Aldrich didn't stop, though.
What? Devin commented. A comment made my eyes go wide, nearly dropping the lunch out of shock. Whiskers drooping, I glanced at Aldrich. You didn't stop writing me? The shepherd's perky ears had gone flat, his eyes looking sunken. I'd never thought much about the letter stopping, but Aldrich was clearly of a different mind about it.
It's true. I actually mailed you a letter right after graduation.
My gut twisted into knots, realizing why the letters had stopped, a feeling weak in my knees, wanting to just drop the ground from shame and anger. I was sure they could see it on my face, a look of utter defeat. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Did you move or something?
No, it must have been my paw. Once high school started, he made me sign up for so many extracurrics as possible, and started asserting more control over everything I tried to do. Figure he would see them, and I never even thought my paw would go as so far as to decide what sort of mail I was allowed to have. Seems like I really did keep giving the man more credit than he deserved. The thought of him going through my mail every day, smiling as he ripped Aldrich's letters to shreds, made my fur on the back of my neck stand on end with anger. My paw kept sinking even lower as a person worthy of love. Turns out Tobin called him a cockroach that fateful morning was disrespectful to cockroaches. But then, why did I stop writing letters back to him? Why hadn't I kept going like he had? I felt a pit in my stomach, feeling like I made for a shit friend, having given up so easily. I'm sorry. I only stopped because I thought you forgot about me. How many letters had Aldrich written to me since I stopped? How much of his life had I missed out on? I wondered if he'd ever confide secrets in me, ask for comfort, but I wasn't there for him, giving up hope so easily. I felt like a monster straight out of a movie.
Your dad sounds like a proper prick. My Rent would probably love him. Rents, sorry. Hey, Cody, it's okay. You think I would have kept writing you letters if I felt bad about your stopping?
Aldrich placed a paw square on my back, fingers flexing softly as he stroked gentle circles over the area. I could feel his claws trace around the thin fabric of my shirt. It was an immediate calming sensation that washed over me, and I felt like I would just melt into a gentle scritching? What is this word? I don't know. Honest?
Completely.
He moves his paws away. After which the three of us went about unpacking the lunch Devon prepared. It was an exquisite array of fresh rice, fruits, pickled vegetables, and a pair of wooden sticks nestled on top. Okay, I'm gonna end the part here, everyone, so I'll see you guys around.